You wouldn't believe it. His dad never came back, making him feel abandoned. The little guy knelt before his mom, apologizing for forgetting Dad's Memorial Day, then followed Shoujo to Spock Arena, but Shoujo couldn't pay respect. Disappointment made Shoujo pessimistic, like a kid who lost candy. She kicked Xioxin out for peace, and he complied. Yet Shoujo appeared at cram school later. She waited for her betrothed, only to notice Shoujo's absence. They'd promised to marry in a child-run land. Shoujo yearns for that dream. What surprised the boy was that Shoujo actually bought into this joke. Maybe he feared trouble because his attitude grew colder by the minute. He ignored Shoujo's questions. The anchored promise was buried by time. Shoujo sensed his disdain, perhaps wanting to save face, and as she left, she even apologized. After Xioxin got his cotton candy, he suddenly spotted the god of poverty. This time, the target was Shoujo. Xioxin hurried over, but as she wouldn't leave, he grabbed her waist and pulled her aside. Shoujo remained clueless as Xioxin dragged her to a secluded spot and insisted she leave, planning to challenge the god of poverty. But the god of poverty declined. Seeing the soft approach failed, Xioxin decided to go tough. Upon hearing Xioxin, the god of poverty was a bit skeptical, but after some thought, she realized monsters aren't quite like humans. So she asked Xioxin about the god of poverty's help, as she just wanted to see her mom again. After considering, Xioxin could only try to broker a deal. They arrived at the Spark Arena, and after this little favor, the god of poverty could stick to Shoujo like glue. The route to hell was also quite a surprise. The god of poverty kicked her legs and vanished at a mysterious junction. Odd, but everyone followed suit. This scene was perfectly witnessed by a cockroach in the restroom, who then relayed the news to Jay. Shoujo's whereabouts seemed to be under constant surveillance, and they successfully reached hell, but Xioxin was looking worse for wear. To see the deceased, they had to cross. Ridiculously, Shoujo found her disabled dad instead of her mom in hell. Shoujo was utterly stunned, and the god of poverty informed her that he was in a half-dead state. The situation was delicate. Dad's debt repayment wasn't simple. Emerging, they found Shoujo's mother, a cleaner. Seeing her daughter, she looked disbelief as all who came here faced grim fates. Learning she was alive, she slowly snapped back. Turns out working here was tougher than in the mortal world. Being in hell made it impossible to sense the passage of time, and even the memories of their lives were. But before they had a chance to linger for long, they were spotted by the demons. Without hesitation, they bolted, even making a temporary return to the living world. Just as they left, the sun caught wind of it. The demons from hell came rushing after them, claiming they would drag them back to hell with them. Xioxin even managed to borrow a motorcycle, while the demons from hell were hot on their heels. Meanwhile, the approaching Yoma was as cool as a cucumber, because the deceased could never escape his clutches. In fact, he hopped into a super luxurious hearse. He didn't even use his powers, just wanting to see what kind of shenanigans they could pull off. Xioxin was sweating bullets, unsure where he found the courage to step. The mother pleaded for mercy, since they were only after her, but Shoujo thought, how could I possibly hand my mom over to them? It wasn't until Yoma's crew caught up that she realized what was at stake. But then Yoma felt utterly powerless. Divine beings must yield to wishes. After a thrilling chase, they finally shook off Yoma's pursuit. Xioxin even yelled out in excitement. Before they could celebrate, they were caught up too, and the demons showed no mercy. Demons attacked fiercely with meter hammers. Xioxin, despite decades of driving, wasn't afraid until Yoma appeared, making him sweat. What Yoma said left Xioxin completely stunned, and just then the demons struck. Shoujo was thrown out, but at the crucial moment, Xioxin yanked her back. They were just about to be followed when a car blocked their way. As they were leaving, Xioxin waved goodbye. The demons were so furious they almost stumped their feet, but Yoma had 100 ways to track them down after all. He had eyes. Meanwhile, they were incredibly thrilled to have successfully escaped Yoma's pursuit. What an unexpected piece of great news. Shoujo never dreamed Xioxin would say those words, as it was once a little dream tucked in her heart. And now, somehow, that dream became a reality thanks to a small cat. Xioxin revved up the engine, chasing that dream, as countless crows swarmed. Shoujo's mom radiated a deceased aura, drawing crows. Yoma's troops approached. They had nowhere to run. After a long day, Yama finally decided to end the circus. Just when they looked set to be dragged to hell together, a sports car suddenly zoomed in from the distance thanks to the mushroom tree keeping an eye on them. However, before they could even glow, the sports car was flipped upside down. Seeing demons from hell approaching, everyone trembled, for though monsters, they had no fighting spirit. As a result, they were bullied by the demons, although they all had good intentions to help Shoujo. This time, their innocence proved useless since this world has its own life. At this point, Shoujo wanted to whip out her cruel incense to challenge Yama in a true showdown between men. However, after a whole day of fun, Yama was feeling a bit weary. Shoujo rushed forward to stop him from harming her mother, but this wasn't child's play. Yama didn't want to talk nicely. Shoujo's reluctance couldn't change his mind. Then, the mother pleaded with the adults to show some mercy, offering to return to hell with them. But Yama conveniently left out the consequences of going back. He simply ordered his subordinates to head back, giving the mother and daughter a little time to say goodbye. Perhaps reluctant to part, Shoujo even suggested going down to hell together, but only the dead truly understand how precious life is. She hoped her daughter would live a long life, then meet all sorts of people and enjoy various foods. But right now, all Shoujo wanted was to be with her mom. Yet life and death are just natural. No one can escape this rule, and seeing her daughter once more made her heart feel complete. Then, her mother visited the injured Shoujo. She expressed her gratitude to Shoujo for being there for Shoujo, and then she left this world in Yama's